You're watching a new edition of World Insight with me, James Chow. As always, we bring you all the latest stories from a Chinese perspective. It's a May Day holiday weekend here in China, but no break for us as we head now to our first story. Well, no surprises, we begin our program today with an emerging global viral scourge. The culprit is an unusual new virus known as H1N1, a strain of influenza that mixes pig, human and bird viruses. By this Friday, the disease had claimed more than 170 lives. Is this the beginning of a global pandemic, and how worried should we really be?
The enemy is a virus. Could these scenes happen in real life? They can and they do. Mexico City, the epicenter of the outbreak. The markets and restaurants are quiet for the first time in living memory. Officials have shut down all schools and banned large public gatherings.
We are facing an epidemic of influenza, not due to the number of cases, but because it is a new virus, something unknown, but that has a cure.
But the cure remains elusive. Mauricio Valentin worked as a janitor at a Mexico City seminary. He was taken to the hospital a week ago Thursday with a high fever, cough and vomiting.
He was treated well by the doctor at the hospital. They gave us all the medicine, and he died early this morning at dawn.
Valentin's death put the toll from the outbreak over 150. He was among the thousands of infected in Mexico. The H1N1 flu has been spreading fast. Within a week, it had reached more than 20 countries and regions worldwide. The virus first traveled north to Mexico's neighbor, the U.S. In New York, health officials said 28 cases have been confirmed at St. Francis Preparatory School. More than 100 students were out with flu-like symptoms last week.
And this is obviously a cause for concern and requires a heightened state of alert.
The U.S. has declared a public health emergency and released stockpiles of antiviral medication.
Work that you are doing.
President Barack Obama has asked Congress to provide $1.5 billion to fight the disease. International flights carry the flu between continents. New Zealand is among the hardest hit. The Wallace family returned from a long trip to Los Angeles with both parents suffering from flu. They decided to quarantine themselves at home.
My wife Penelope and me have been sick with the flu for a couple of weeks. We didn't actually contract it from the flight, but we have been around the LA, San Diego area, and this has caused concern.
Pharmacies across New Zealand struggle to fill the demand for medications following the nationwide alert. The virus has also made its way into Asia. Asian airports have turned on their thermal scanners to detect sick incoming passengers. Researchers say the nature of the disease makes it a tough enemy to combat. The H1N1 strain is associated with genetic sequences of pigs, and when the flu spreads from person to person, it can continue to mutate, making it hard to treat or fight off. This week, the World Health Organization raised its pandemic alert level twice.
I think at this point in time it is very important that all regions of the World Health Organization work with our countries to heighten surveillance so that we know exactly whether this new disease is causing infection in human beings in countries other than the US and Mexico.
The move from level 3 to level 5 on the WHO's 6-level threat scale means the world body has determined the virus is heading toward a flu pandemic. It's called the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern. According to the WHO, a public health emergency is an occurrence or imminent threat of illness that poses serious risk to a significant number of people. The question now is, how scared should we be?
In fact, this isn't the first time that swine flu has surfaced. Back in 1976, an outbreak struck a U.S. Army base in New Jersey, infecting hundreds of soldiers there. President Gerald Ford ordered a nationwide vaccination program, and within weeks reports surfaced of people developing a paralyzing nerve disease that could have been caused by the vaccine. More than 30 died of that condition, but the epidemic failed to materialize. Epidemiologists say there are many differences between the 1976 virus and the current H1N1 strain, but they also say decisions made in the wake of the 76 outbreak provide a cautionary tale for public health officials.
The outbreak is a situation in flux. This time, officials aren't rushing to any conclusions.
We are concerned that this virus could cause a new influenza pandemic. It could be mild in its effects or potentially be severe. We do not yet know which way it will go, but we are concerned that in Mexico, most of those who died were young and healthy adults.
The world has seen flu pandemics before and learned from past mistakes. The worst pandemic of the last century occurred over 1918 to 1919. The Spanish flu emerged in Europe and the United States. The infection then spread to Africa and Asia. It killed between 20 and 50 million people, including millions of young adults. Because of advances in medical care and better living conditions, a virus with the severity of Spanish flu has not been seen since. But new viruses have been evolving. Since its outbreak in 1997, bird flu has kept World Health authorities anxious. It's killed 61% of people who contracted it. And SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, killed hundreds of people in the 2003 outbreak in China. Fortunately, the lessons learned did not go to waste. The Hong Kong SAR Undersecretary for Food and Health says SARS gave us a lot of valuable insights and practical experience in managing a large outbreak. Hong Kong went through both bird flu and SARS. The SAR government now responds to public health threats like a well-oiled machine. Tens of thousands of doctors and nurses are tracked on databases and ready to be mobilized.
So I think the world globally is much better prepared to deal with this today than we were 6 years ago. And that is a direct consequence of preparedness to confront an avian flu pandemic.
In Mexico City, Valentin's death hasn't stopped the faithful from praying at the church where he worked. In fighting a deadly disease, miracles are as welcome as medicine.